Yashodanandana Vrajajanaranjana
Yashodanandana Vrajajanaranjana
Yamunatira Vanachari
Yamunatira Vanachari
Yamunatira Vanachari
Yamunatira Vanachari
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare
Nitai Gaur Hari Bo Hari Bo Hari Bo Nitai Gaur Hari Bo
Hari Bol Hari Bol Hari Bol Nitai Gaura Hari Bol
Jai Jai Prabhupada Jai Srila Prabhupada
Jaya Jaya Prabhupada Jaya Srila Prabhupada
Gaur Premanande Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Narayanam Namaskrityam Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Sarasatim Vyasam Tato Jayamudirayat Nastapraeshu Vabhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Uttama Shloke Bhakti Bhavati Naistiki. So today we're hearing about the auspicious appearance of Lord Nrisimhadev. Lord Nrisimhadev, very interesting incarnation of the Lord. Usually we will describe who is the mother and father of the incarnation. You know, like even Lord Krishna comes as the son of Vasudeva and Devaki, or as Yashoda and Nanda. But Lord Nrisimhadev, of course, he takes his birth from the pillar, right? He doesn't have the mother and father, but he appears from the pillar, a very special appearance. Lord Varaha also was a little special. Lord Varaha came from the nostril of Brahma. Lord Brahma was contemplating how to pick up the earth from the bottom of the universe, and at that time Lord Varaha came out from the nostril, from the breathing of Lord Brahma. So anyway, we want to explain about how it happened that the Lord appeared from the pillar. So, Hiranyakashipu had this wonderful son, Prahlad. He had 4 children, actually. And Prahlad, like other children, he has to get education. And his father wanted his son to be like him. He wanted him to be a good materialist and to deal with his enemies. Prahlad, however, he'd already had some education, because Prahlad, while he was within the womb of his mother was taken to the ashram of Narada Muni. Hiranyakashipu had gone to do austerities, to get power, to become of course, his Hiranyakashipu's desire was to become immortal. And in order to get that power, he went and he did great tapasya for a long time. So while he was doing tapasya, his wife she had already conceived a child. And the demigods, they were worried that this child will be a demon like his father. So let's take the woman, and when she gives birth to the child, we will kill it, so it cannot give any trouble to us in the universe. However, Narada Muni, he knows everything, past, present and future, and he appeared and he told the demigods that you won't be able to do any harm to this child, and you don't have to worry, because this child is going to be a great devotee. So Narada Muni convinced the demigods to give the woman under his care. And Narada Muni took the wife of Hiranyakashipu to his ashram. And being in the ashram of Narada Muni, she was able to hear regularly. Just like if you come and stay in the ashram, you will hear every day classes from the scriptures. This is one of the benefits of being in the ashram, you see. When you go home, you forget these things. You don't always pick up the book in the morning and read Bhagavatam. But in the ashram, we have these arrangements for hearing and chanting. So Hiranyakashipu's wife, Kayadu, she was in the ashram of Narada Muni, and Narada Muni was regularly reciting scriptures and preaching, and the child in the womb was hearing very carefully. So later on, after his birth, Hiranyakashipu had finished his tapasya and come back. Then his wife delivered the child, and the child was put into the Gurukula to study. So it happened that the father naturally wanted to know what his son was learning in the Gurukula. So Hiranyakashipu took his son Prahlad and asked him, "My dear son Prahlad, tell me, what is the best thing you have learned from your teachers in the Gurukula?" So Prahlad, when he said, "What is the best thing you have learned?" Prahlad thought about what he had learned while he was in the womb, while he was in the ashram of Narada Muni. So Prahlad replied to his father that, "My dear father, king of the demons, I have learned that for a person who is in the bodily concept of life and who is attached to the material existence and whose whole purpose in life is satisfying his senses, that his situation is like an animal which has fallen into a well." And Prahlad uses the word andakupam, a blind well. Griha andakupam. He describes the home of the materialistic person to be like the blind well. And Prahlad went on to give the solution to his father, that what person in this situation needs to do is to go to the forest. Go and live in the forest. In other words, enter into the vanaprastha stage of life. The Vedas prescribe 4 different ashrams, right? There's the brahmachari, grihast, and then vanaprastha and sannyas. So one who is if one is attached to materialistic life and whose only purpose in materialistic life is sense gratification, then that person better move into the next ashram, vanaprastha. Go and live in the forest. So Prahlad Maharaj said like this to his father. His father was not happy to hear this, and he thought, how is it my son has got this idea? Where did he get this kind of education? He said he must have been polluted by these Vaishnavas, that they come in disguise and they come and they pollute the minds of the innocent materialistic people. So he instructed the teachers, take good care of my son, don't let anyone pollute his mind. Keep him very carefully and educate him in materialistic life. So the 2 teachers, they were both the sons of Sukracharya, named Sanda and Amarka. They took Prahlad back to the Gurukula and they very carefully questioned him about where he had learned these things. So Prahlad Maharaj explained to the 2 teachers about the foolishness of materialistic life, how people in the material world are working for such temporary pleasures, the pleasures of the flesh, which are very short. And he explained that we should understand the real goal of life is self-realization and to know our real self and to get free from material existence. Teachers were shocked that their student had somehow heard all of this kind of knowledge, which was not at all the thinking of the materialistic people. Anyway, the 2 teachers tried their best to educate Prahlad in the life of a materialist. And they taught him, of course, about the karma kanda path, which begins with so-called religion, dharma, but the purpose of the dharma is kama. Dharma, artha, meaning economic development, and then dharma, artha, kama, sense gratification. So generally people take up religion, common people who are materialistic, they think life, if we are religious, the purpose of religion is to get economic development. And economic development is meant for sense gratification. And sense gratification, when we are frustrated by it and no longer interested in it, then we should think of liberation, salvation, or mukti. So these things were being taught in the Gurukula, not the things which Vaishnavas are interested in. But materialistic people are very interested in these things. So Prahlad was in the Gurukula and he was learning these things. Again, his father came and he wanted to hear from his son. He asked his son, "What is the best thing you have learned from your teachers?" And Prahlad then explained to his father that the best thing I have learned from my teachers is Shravanam Kirtan Vishnu, Smaranam Padasevanam Arjanam Vandam Dashyam Sakyam Atmani Vedanam. And when Hiranyakashipu heard, he just heard Shravanam Kirtan Vishnu. Oh no! What is this? Vishnu? You're telling me the best thing you have learned is Shravanam Kirtan Vishnu? Vishnu is the enemy of our family. Why are you learning this? Who is teaching this to you? Prahlad Maharaj said that I have learned that these 9 activities, these 9 angas of bhakti, that this is the real path of self-realization. This gives the perfection of life. One who is really learned, he will dedicate himself to the practice of these different angas of devotion. And devotion to who? Devotion to Lord Vishnu. But Lord Vishnu was not the name which Hiranyakashipu wants to hear. Because Hiranyakashipu had some bitter experience in the past with Lord Vishnu. Hiranyakashipu had one brother named Hiranyaksha. They were 2 brothers, the 2 sons of Diti, and they had both terrorized the universe. Hiranyaksha was going everywhere in search of gold, and he was so ambitious to find gold that he dug up the earth to such an extent that the earth planet fell out of its orbit in the universe and fell into the bottom of the universe. It fell into the Garbhodak ocean, which fills the bottom half of the universe. So Lord Varaha appeared to pick up the earth from the bottom of the universe, and at that time, while he was picking up the earth from the universe, Hiranyaksha challenged him. And the result was a fight. Lord Varaha fought with Hiranyaksha, and ultimately Hiranyaksha was killed by Lord Varaha. So the death of Hiranyaksha was very painful to Hiranyakashipu and his mother Diti, and of course Hiranyaksha also had his wife, so they were feeling greatly pained with the death of Hiranyaksha. And Hiranyakashipu, he vowed to get revenge, that he would find Vishnu and kill him. But of course he could never find Lord Vishnu. He concluded Lord Vishnu has hidden himself in the hearts of everyone. So Hiranyakashipu gave up his search for Lord Vishnu, but still he kept that bitterness. And he remembered how Lord Vishnu had done this to him, how he killed his brother. And now Prahlad, Hiranyakashipu's son, is talking to his father and telling him, hear and chant and remember Lord Vishnu. So Hiranyakashipu was very upset, and he immediately called for the teachers, and he challenged them, why have you taught this to my son? The two teachers, they defended themselves. They said, we didn't teach him this. We don't know where you're getting this from. We didn't teach this to him. So Hiranyakashipu was surprised that his son had never learned this from his teachers. So then he asked Prahlad, where did you get this knowledge from? Who gave you this? Just like sometimes people become devotees of Hare Krishna, and the parents will say, why you go there? Why you don't just do your studies? Why don't you just go and take drugs and drink beer like other boys? Why you have to go and chant Hare Krishna? Why can't you be a normal drunkard, gambler, woman hunter? So Hiranyakashipu was also thinking like that about his own son. So he asked Prahlad, where did you get this from? Who gave you this? And Prahlad then answered, Matirna Krishne Paratasvatova Vibho Vipadyeta Greha Vratanam Adanta Gobir Vishatam Tamishram Punas Punacharvita Charvananam. Prahlad Maharaj is telling his father that Matirna Krishna, that father, you don't have to worry. Your inclination towards Krishna will never be aroused, whether by your own endeavor or by the instructions of others, or even a combination of both. There's no way you will ever have an inclination towards Krishna. Why? Because Grehavratan, you've made your vow to remain in the well of materialistic life, just devoted to satisfying your senses. You are simply chewing what has already been chewed. Prahlad Maharaj says like punas punacharvita charvananam, chewing what has been chewed, trying to take pleasure from something where there is no pleasure. Just like if you try to chew sugar cane after you've already taken all the juice out. You know, when you get a glass of sugar cane juice, they'll put the cane through the two rollers and squeeze out all the juice. So if you chew that cane, there's no juice in it anymore. I remember as children we used to chew gum. You know, we didn't have sugar cane in England, but we had chewing gum. And we would chew gum, and after chewing it, we'd stick it under the table, you know, in the classroom, we'd stick it under the table. And the idea is that somebody will come along the next class, they'll take it and they'll chew it, you know, after you've already chewed. Of course, there's no taste in it anymore. So materialistic life is like that. That it's like chewing what has already been chewed. We're trying to find pleasure where there is no real pleasure. Of course, it's not wrong to want pleasure, but we have to know where to find real pleasure. And real pleasure is not found just by satisfying our senses. Rather, the senses are never satisfied. No matter how much attention you give them, you can never satisfy them. Real happiness is found within. You have to look within. We give the example about the musk deer. In the Himalayas, there's a type of deer which has musk inside the organs of the deer. And the deer is always thinking, where is that smell coming from? It's wonder, where is that beautiful aroma coming from? It's the musk. And the animal does not realize the aroma is coming from within. In the same way, we are looking for pleasure. We're looking for happiness everywhere. We're thinking, maybe it's with my eyes I will get happiness. Or maybe it's with my tongue I will get happiness. We try to satisfy the demands of each of the senses. Sometimes the senses are compared to having a partner, right? Like the wife has a husband or the husband has a wife. So you could imagine we have the senses, and each of the senses is demanding, take me here, take me there, I want to do this, I want to... The different senses are pulling us and demanding attention. In the same way, we're trying to find happiness, looking for that happiness. But the happiness is not outside, the real happiness is within. We have to turn within and experience the happiness of the soul. So Prahlad Maharaj went on to tell his father that a blind person, if he tries to take help from another blind person, he cannot expect to get any good destination. If a blind man is moving along the path and he's trying to take help from another blind person, you cannot expect to get any good result. That is what happens. People who are blind, they're often cheated. They're looking for the path, trying to find real enlightenment, and they're tricked or misled by some other blind person. We have to find people with real vision, real knowledge. So Prahlad Maharaj then goes on to describe where did he get that knowledge? He said, the only way you get this kind of knowledge is by taking the dust from the feet of the great devotees. You have to embrace the pure devotees. You have to associate with them and hear from them. Then only you can get that real knowledge of spiritual life. You don't get it just by doing great austerities or performing tapasyas, fasting, going to holy places, bathing in holy rivers, performing sacrifices. None of these things will give us the real goal, the real result which we're looking for. The only way you can get it is by getting the mercy from someone who is actually niskinchana, who has actually detached themselves from the materialistic way of life. The materialistic way of life is where most people are entangled. And if we want to get free, you have to get the mercy from someone who is not entangled in that materialistic way of life. So Prahlad Maharaj explained like this to his father. But this was not what Hiranyakashipu wanted to hear. This was in fact very much against what he wanted to hear. And he was so disturbed, he was so angry, that he ordered, he said, this boy is already poisoned. Although he's only a child, his mind has been polluted. There's no hope for him. Kill him! And Hiranyakashipu ordered his servants, take the boy away and kill him. And of course they did try. They tried to kill Prahlad in so many different ways. They put him under elephants, they threw him off mountains, they put him in the middle of the ocean, they put him in the well with poison snakes, they tried to pierce his body with weapons, but there was nothing they could do to harm Prahlad, because Prahlad was not an ordinary person. He was a Nitya Siddha. He was a liberated soul, an eternal associate of the Lord. And he was protected by the Lord. He was not praying to the Lord for help, but he was never forgetful of the Lord. And because he always remembered the Lord, no harm could come to him. So Hiranyakashipu was very disturbed. He thought, we have tried to kill him in so many ways, no harm has come to him. My son he's not even afraid. When we try to kill him, he doesn't even get worried about it. So Hiranyakashipu became very worried that this son of mine is more powerful than I am. However, the two teachers from the Gurukula, Sanda and Namarka, came and they tried to encourage Hiranyakashipu, and they told him, no, you're a great personality. You've conquered heaven all on your own without help from anyone else. You conquered the whole of heaven and everyone is under your control. You don't have to worry. You're all right. You're great. You're the supreme person. You're the most powerful person in the universe. No one can equal you. Don't worry about this boy of yours. He's only a child. He will soon grow out of his ways. So in this way, he was encouraged, Hiranyakashipu was encouraged to go on. And he had his son go back in the Gurukula. So Prahlad was back in the Gurukula, and he did not play the games with all the other children. And the other children, they all approached him that, why you don't play with us? You know, we're all playing our games, you should come and play with us. But Prahlad preached to them, and he told them about the importance of God consciousness, that we have to utilize this life for God consciousness. We should not waste this opportunity. And the beginning of life is the best time. Komar acharet pragno dharmam bhagavatam miha. We should learn Bhagavad Dharma when we are children, 5-year-old children. From the beginning of life, we need to get that kind of training and education. So Prahlad was preaching about the importance of human life and how we waste so much time with ball games and this game and that game, with this movie and that movie and this song and that song. We need to learn about spiritual life. And Prahlad made all of the boys, who were all sons of great demons, Prahlad made them all into devotees. And they all became nice devotees. although they were born in the family of demons, they became nice devotees. So the two teachers saw how all the boys were becoming just like Prahlad. Then they went to Hiranyakashipu and they told him that your son, he's polluted all the other children in the Gurukul. They've all become like him. They've all become Vaishnavas. So Hiranyakashipu was furious, and he came and he got Prahlad. He said, I will kill him myself. And he said, before I kill you, I want to know, where is this God, this person you're worshipping? Where do you see him? And Prahlad, because Prahlad is on the topmost level, his Father, he is everywhere. He's in everything. Then Hiranyakashipu took his fist and punched the pillar, thinking, I will show my son, he's not there. But when he punched the pillar, from the pillar, the Lord came in the most wonderful form, half lion, half man. And Lord Nrisimhadev came, and there was a wonderful fight between the two. And then just at the point of dusk, just between the day and the night, Lord Nrisimhadev took Hiranyakashipu on his lap and ripped apart his chest, took out his entrails from his stomach and put them round his neck, just like a garland. A nice garland to have, huh? So this way Hiranyakashipu met his death. He had been given benedictions by Lord Brahma, and Lord Nrisimhadev was very careful to keep intact all the benedictions which Lord Brahma had given him. That he was not killed in the day or in the night. He was killed at the end of the day, in the beginning of the night. And he was not killed on land or on water, he was killed on the lap of the Lord. And he was not killed by any man or animal, but he was killed by half man, half animal. And it's all the different conditions which Hiranyakashipu had taken as benedictions from Lord Brahma. Lord Nrisimhadev kept all these conditions and still killed him. So Prahlad Maharaj appreciated later on. He said, I saw my father that he was controlling the whole universe. The powerful demigods were all serving him. But he lost everything in a moment. Everything was taken from him. Nothing left. So Prahlad Maharaj said, what is the need? Why make so much endeavor to acquire so much power, to get opulence, to control the material world? It is all so temporary. At any moment it can be finished, as it was with Hiranyakashipu. He lost everything in a moment. So Prahlad Maharaj said, I am not interested in these things. But anyway, with the death of Hiranyakashipu, Prahlad Maharaj had to become the king. And he was put on the throne and made the king, and he ruled the planet. Lord Brahma installed him as a king. Lord Nrisimhadev wanted Prahlad to take some benediction from him. But Prahlad said, no, I cannot take any benediction. I am not a businessman. If someone worships God to get something from them, that is like a business. Prahlad said, I am not like that. I'm not a businessman. But Lord Nrisimhadev insisted that, no, you should ask something. So Prahlad then said, then please, since my father was such a demon and he tried to fight with you, he even tried to kill you, please don't let him go to hell. And Lord Nrisimhadev said to Prahlad Maharaj, you don't have to worry, your father is not going to hell because you are in his family, you're his son. So not only your father is not going to hell, but for 21 generations, all of your family members are delivered. So this is the power of just having one devotee, one pure devotee in the family, that they can deliver not only the one family, but they can deliver 21 generations of family members. So Prahlad Maharaj was told like this, that you don't have to worry about your father. He's going to be delivered by your grace, because you're his son and because you're such a nice devotee. So Prahlad Maharaj satisfied Lord Nrisimhadev with wonderful prayers, and Lord Nrisimhadev was happy to see Prahlad installed on the throne. Lord Nrisimhadev then went back to his abode in the spiritual world in Vaikuntha. Lord Nrisimhadev has his own planet there, and the devotees of the Lord can go there and enjoy pastimes with him. Thank you very much. Are there any questions? Anything?
Haribol. Hare Krishna Maharaj. Thank you so much for giving, enlightening us with pastimes. Maharaj, in your lecture you mentioned that Punar Charvida Charvadanam, that statement. So, at what stage of one's advancement in devotional service do we feel that these material things are like, just like, chewing the chewed? Will it be at the stage of raga or bhava? Because in the sadhana bhakti still you find that, these material things which you try to enjoy, there is still enjoyment. So at what stage these things, appear in your life with this understanding?
At what stage do we feel that we're simply chewing the chewed? Well, it can come about just simply by hearing. You may simply have just begun devotional service. But when we hear this kind of explanation to material life, then it can enter into our heart. And if we accept it as the truth, then we can be greatly benefited and go on in devotional service. One may be a neophyte in spiritual practice, but if you hear this kind of knowledge in the right way and accept it, then that is effective. Yeah, you may be at the stage of anartha nivritti, you may be simply doing sadhana bhakti, adoshrada sadhu sangha. In the stage of sadhu sangha, we would hear these kind of things. The devotees will be teaching, talking to us and telling us like this. We'll be hearing from them. So when we hear this kind of things, if it goes into our heart and we accept it as facts, then that is very positive sign. That's a very good sign. We may be doing sadhana bhakti, we may be at the anartha nivritti, you may be nishta. It doesn't matter really what stage we're in. But if we accept these facts, if we accept this kind of knowledge, and if we take this knowledge into our hearts, and we are convinced about it, that this is a fact, then this is very good sign, a very positive sign of spiritual awakening. Spiritual awakening. that we're giving this knowledge to everyone. So you hear it and you accept it. So this means you're already on a good level of devotional service. You may have already got through anartha. You may not. You could be at different levels. There's no clear indication what level you're at. But when you accept this knowledge, then this is very positive sign, a good way to go ahead and make more advancement.
Hare Krishna. Any other questions? Haribol Matas.
Hare Krishna Maharaj, thank you very much for such a wonderful class. Maharaj, Prahlada was born to Hiranyakashipu, a father like Hiranyakashipu, but still he became such a great devotee. Now, what made him so lucky? Because not all are lucky enough to become devotees like that. And was it the karma of Hiranyakashipu to get a devotee son, or was it the karma of Prahlada himself to become a devotee?
Well, karma is a very complex thing, difficult to explain everything just in terms of karma. But I did explain that Prahlad, while he was within the womb of his mother had gone to had been taken to the ashram of Narada Muni. So although the child was still in the womb, he was able to hear spiritual knowledge. And this was very beneficial for him in becoming a devotee. And Prahlad also recognized that he'd been fortunate to have Narada Muni as his teacher and as his spiritual guide. So that was certainly very helpful for Prahlad becoming a great devotee. Some other scriptures describe different things. They say that Prahlad in his previous life, he had been a fallen brahmana and he was fasting he had a girlfriend, and the two of them were arguing and fasting and quarreling, and it was Nrisimha Chaturdasi that day. And the two of them they spent the whole night arguing with each other and fasting. So there are different explanations. Now was it karma, Prahlad's karma? Well, karma is destroyed by devotional service. Prahlad is he's not a sadhana siddha, he's a nitya siddha. He's an eternally liberated soul. And of course, he's doing sadhana, but he's a nitya siddha. He's an eternal associate of the Lord. And he has come for the sake of the Lord's pastimes, you could say. So it's not karma. Karma is for the common people, us. We have karma. But Prahlad Maharaj, there's no karma. He's transcendental. One on the transcendental level, there's no karma. When we do devotional service, just like we come into Krishna consciousness, then we get free of karma. As soon as you take initiation, destroys all the past karma. So devotional service is so powerful that it destroys all karma. So why does it happen? The Lord's arrangements. The Lord likes to show us the nature of a devotee, how a devotee will tolerate, and what is the behavior of a devotee, how Prahlad behaves. He does not think of anyone as an enemy or a friend. He sees everyone equal. He's very kind and concerned, full of compassion for others. all of his qualities are very saintly. So this is the nature of the devotee. It's not karma, but it's the results of devotional service. It's the plan of Krishna to show the glory of his devotees. Krishna likes to show his devotees. Just like he could have won the battle of Kurukshetra himself, but he wanted Arjuna to get the credit. So similarly, Lord Nrisimhadev came to protect Prahlad, and to also we see the wonderful the glory of Prahlad. How, although his father was such a demon, Prahlad was concerned, I don't want my father to go to hell. You know, if your father was very nasty and always trying to kill you, you think, let him go to hell, you know. But Prahlad is, don't let my father go to hell. Prahlad was so compassionate, so caring, that he wanted to deliver his father from hell. So we learn about the wonderful qualities which devotee should have. One who is a devotee, he's supposed to have all good qualities. Okay? Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Maharaj. Hare Krishna. So we would like to thank Maharaj for his wonderful association on this holy day of Sri Narasimha Chaturdasi, and also for his wonderful glorification of Lord Nrisimhadev. So we would like to thank Maharaj by one time chanting Hare Krishna Mahamantra. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. On coming Friday, the 16th May, we will be performing a Sahasranama Archana for Lord Nrisimhadev. So the devotees can register your name in our temple office or His Grace Balaji Purushottam Das Prabhuji.